Hi guys, it's Kelly here and I'm back with another video. Today's video is featuring the new release from Trinity stamps. There's also some older stuff in here. The sentiments are definitely older. These tiny little donut dippers are older. This is new. This is the cocoa mug add-on that goes with the coffee card. I'm using some stencils. And then these are new. These are called emergency like card kits. And that little piece I'm pointing to right there does a pop-up. And I wanted to try to see if I could use it with the coffee shaped card. It did not work, but I will link below to the video where you can see how they put it together, and it's like just a really easy pop-up piece. But I really like those little emergency ones because it cuts all different kinds of layers. But anywho, in the original coffee kit, it comes with this little insert for a gift card. So I am using that and it fits in perfectly. But then I'm also using that new add-on for like the little cocoa. It's really so cute. Like, and because I'm so a coffee person, in fact, I just made a new cup of coffee before I sat down to do my voiceover. I think these are a really cute way to give like a little something, you know, if you wanted to, but see, you can see here how it like perfectly fits in there. And then you would just slide your gift card into those two little pieces. Of course, I am a Dunkin' girl. I know some people are Starbucks. And then like my brother-in-law is from Buffalo and he's Tim Hortons. So anyway, but I'm Dunkin'. Well, you know what? Now that I work from home, like not even 100%, like I drink Dunkin' very rarely. It's like when I want something extra special because typically I'm at home working, so I just make my own coffee. Anywho, so this is the base, the coffee shaped card, and I am masking off the back of it so that I can add just a little bit of shading to the front. I'm using the, what is this, hickory smoke, and very, very lightly just adding a little bit of shading. I want my mugs to be white. So the cocoa add-on has this little extra layer right here that will create a frame. So if you want to do a shaker, you could, if you want to do a shaker mug, that would be really cute. And then this is the piece that sits inside that frame. And this is where I'm going to be putting my pattern, my decoration. So for the first one, I'm going to put the base down and then I'm going to put that like insert piece and tape it in place. So that way when I'm doing my stenciling, everything is lining up because I also wanted my pattern to be on the handle. So I kind of wanted it just to be like an all over pattern. And this one is the confetti background. No, it's stars and sprinkles. And I just thought that would be a really cute way to decorate the mug, especially because I'm using the sentiment, "You are the sprinkles" on my donut. And then all of these, like, they fit in together. They're etched so that you can see where to line them up. But anywho, before we get too much further, I know it's going by really fast. This is a part of a video hop and there is a giveaway. So the giveaway is open until October 9th and it is a $25 gift card. So make sure as you're hopping along, you're leaving comments. I will link, I'm the last video, I think, in the hop. So I will link back to Carrie, who is the first video, in case you're just stopping by my channel. Obviously, the more comments you leave, the better your chances are of winning your gift card. So this is really easy. I've used this stencil before. This was just a really easy way to go ahead and decorate my mug. You could obviously do pattern paper or like a full background stamp instead of stenciling. Either one, would be a fun little pattern on your mug. Or you just cut it out of solid paper. That's an option too. For this one, I'm using the Catching Rays stencil, and I'm not putting it on the handle. I'm just putting it on this front portion. And in order, because you guys know I'm like super matchy with my colors. I like them to match. So for this one, I'm doing pink, and then I'm gonna go in with that. What is that? Carved pumpkin. I tried something else first, and I didn't really like it. To see if I could kind of like scooch the rays around. It didn't really work. So I just put it back in place and did the orange in the center. And then for this one, I'm going to do the yellow in the center. And then I'm going to do the salty ocean, the blue on the outside edges. So all of the colors are still represented. But just a little bit differently than we see in the sprinkles. Now, I will be honest, I don't hate this, but I like the sprinkles much better. So if I had to do it all over again, I probably would pick a different pattern to go with. But now once the stenciling is done, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiments. This is one from the Love Danny collection, and there's a bunch of them. It's the birthday one that I thought would be fitting, because we're making little either foofy coffees or, hot cocoa mugs that happy birthday to a sweet friend would match that kind of sentiment. So I went ahead and stamped that down, and I did stamp that in ink that is safe for alcohol markers because I'm going to color them in. The other one, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I ended up just stamping it, You Are the Sprinkles on My Donut, which matches it's like a pizza. There's one that you could turn the circle card into pizza and one that you can turn it into donuts. And that's another shaped card. It's just a circle with all those little extra things. So that sentiment came out when that shaped card came out. But anyway, it's cute. That's the point. So now I started building them, and because you guys know me and I can't leave anything alone. Like I could have just cut out the other items out of colored cardstock, but I'm not going to do that because I want my cards to look different than everybody else's. So I'm going to do some Copic coloring on the accessory portion of the mugs. So the little whipped cream, the little drips down, the little squiggles, I suppose you could do them. I think you could cut them out in like a white glitter or add glue to them and then glitter them. And that would be really cute on top of your little mug. So on top of your whipped cream. So that way it would be like fun and sparkly. I chose to color them as if they were like toppings, like the chocolate syrup or caramel syrup. I'm going to do both. So for the little like coffee section, I still wanted to add that in. You don't have to if you use the whipped cream because you can scoot it down close enough to the edge that you wouldn't see it, but I decided to add my whipped cream just a little bit higher, just up just a little bit, so you would still be able to see that like sliver of coffee. And I added my shading so that it was darkest toward the front, because if you were looking at it, like if we weren't adding anything on top of it, that is how it would look. It would look darker because it would be the rim of the mug would cast a little bit of a shadow. So I do try to show you guys how to color them, whether you're putting toppings on them or not, because maybe you're watching this and you just have the coffee card and you don't have the add-ons. That's fine. That's how you would color the coffee. So for the drips, I'm going to do chocolate. My oldest sister, she likes the mocha flavor, which is the chocolate. So, but it's coffee. It's not hot chocolate. It's mocha flavored coffee. So that's how I am coloring this little drip. I just picked one side. For me, it was the left-hand side to add my darkest shading to. And then just like with everything else, even though it's a die cut, we want to go over the previous color and kind of stretch it out. I did add a little bit of darker color, that mid-tone, just very little around the other side, so on the right-hand side of the drips. And then with the next color, I will close up that gap for the white even further. With my lightest color, I'm going to fill in the top completely, and then I will leave just a very tiny sliver of white as a highlight for the drip, so that it looks like it's genuinely dripping. But if you don't want to do that, or maybe, you got a little heavy-handed with your markers, that's totally okay. You can just add it back in with a white gel pen. So this is the color combination that I chose for the caramel. I told you my oldest sister, if she gets flavor, it's mocha. If I get a flavor, it's caramel. Or the butter pecan. That's so good. Anyway, so here it's the same thing. It's just a different color scheme. I chose the E30s family because it is quite a bit warmer, but I'm going to do the same thing, leaving those just that little bit of a white highlight so that it looks like it's dripping. For the part where I want it to look like it's caramel or chocolate, like decorations, the syrup part of it on the whipped cream, I just added my darkest color to the left-hand side, and then I filled in everything else with my mid-tone because there's not a lot of real estate here. They're very thin. We just want it to match our drips for our other things, so that it looks like it is dripping down. Something else to note, they do, Trinity has this other one it's called a berry cute layered mug, but not berry like fruit, berry like a teddy bear. And I did some gift card holders with those last year, for my nieces and my mom and my sister. Part of their gift was like a cookie decorating class, and so I put the information for the cookie decorating class in the little gift card holder. But anyway, that if you have that set, that one also has like little marshmallows in it, and things like that for you that you could use to decorate. And if you have that one, you could use the marshmallows and stuff on here. And that would be so super cute. Because I am a big fan of incorporating, older things. The same thing for the sentiment, the "You Are the Sprinkles on My Donut." If you have that one, the die cuts out the sentiment, but it also has a die that cuts out sprinkles that you could add on. Or Trinity has their own sprinkles, like little clay sprinkles. Now, I showed you, let me talk about the whipped cream. Sorry. So here, because I did cool grays for the mugs, I chose warm grays for my whipped cream. And basically, I just looked for anywhere that there was an indent, and I added a little bit of that W5. And then there were two areas, the one in the middle and then the one on the bottom right, that I added just to give it a little bit more depth, and then blended that out with a W3 and then a W1. There's still plenty of white left so that it looks like whipped cream, but that helps to give it a lot more dimension. When I was putting these together, like I did do the ink blending with the hickory smoke, but I felt like I wanted to add a little bit more shading. And for that, I'm using the cool grays, as I just mentioned. And so I'm adding it as if it was a central highlight. So I'm adding a little bit of shading on the left and right hand side, as well as to that mug handle. So the mug handle does look like it's a little bit set back. I'm adding shading to the back part of the front rim and the front part of the back rim. And again, I'm just showing you that because if you were shading, or if you were making this mug with just coffee, no accessories, that would be how I would shade it. And then just the same thing that we just did, going over the C5 with the C3 and then the C1, blending that out. Right now it does look pretty gray, but I promise you when we bring everything together, they will definitely look more dimensional and not gray. For this one, just something to note, I colored it the same exact way, but I did go right over that stenciling, especially on the handle, because we want that to look as if it is part of the mug. And so that means it would have the same shading, like that handle would have the same shading as, the plain handle. So anywho, what were we talking about? We were talking about the accessories that you could add on with the very cute layered mug, and then the sprinkles. We talked about sprinkles. Oh, the clay sprinkles, the tiny dippers. That's what I'm talking about. So I showed you the tiny donut dippers because my original game plan was to add some like little donuts on the bottom of the card. And I thought that would be so cute. And so I did decorate the donuts with the accessories that came with the tiny dippers. And then I also put like clay sprinkles on them. I only left a snippet of that in just to kind of show you how they looked at the end, because I used them for my photos. I didn't end up using them for my card, but I did use them for my photos, and they are totally adorable. So for the happy birthday, I filled it in completely with black, and I am going to speed it up because it does take a second, especially when you're trying not to get black on anything else. I filled it in with black, honestly, because I thought that when you see those mugs that have like printed background, most of the time the lettering is black so that it's legible. I colored in the sweet with a gradient of pinks. So this is my darkest color. This is an RV69. I blended that out with an RV19, and then my lightest color is an RV06. You also probably could have done orange, but I really like the majority of the rays are pink, so I decided to go with pink. And then for the bottom one, instead of just blending it all in black, I did a little bit of a gradient with a darker gray just for some added interest. Probably not even necessary, but that is what I did for this one. And like I said, with the other one, I thought maybe about adding a cast shadow or something to the sentiment, but then I ended up liking it just the way that it was. So I didn't add anything to it. I just stamped that sentiment and then I left it the way that it was. For once, I left something alone. So that after this, we can start building them. When I started building them, I realized that I did not like the way that the drip was hanging down for the one that you are, the sprinkles on my donut. Here you can see the chocolate does cover, a little bit of the sentiment, but it's obviously still legible that it says happy birthday and that it says sweet friend. So I wasn't overly worried about it. With the one that I did the caramel, oh, and here, look, I put glue all over the entire thing because that's what I normally do, but I don't want that. I just want glue on the base. Just want to glue on the base. So I did my best to kind of wipe it off of the top. One thing to note with this little, like the topping portion, like the little, I don't know what they call that, the little drizzle, I guess that's what they call it when you get foofy coffee. So I lined it up on the left-hand side, and then that way I was able to kind of pull it over to the right so that everything lined up with the edge. Because it is such a thin die cut, it can very easily be pushed out of shape. So I found that lining up one edge and then pulling it kind of over was the best way to go about it. But anywho, so once I was putting it together, I realized that the way that it was hanging down, that it was completely obscuring the S in sprinkles. And so I did not love it. Plus, I didn't love that they both looked identical. So a way that I found that I could switch it up, and you're going to see here, like I'm putting the glue on it and everything. I'm fully committed. And then I realize Oh, you can't. It's ooh, oh are the Prinkles, oh are the Prinkles. And that's not what we wanted. So what I did was I cut another one but I cut it from behind. So that way I would get the mirror image, and then I colored that back side, so that I could put the drip on the right, or like I just showed you, you could use both of them if you wanted to. And this one did not cover up nearly as much. It's still legible to read, you are the sprinkles on my donut, and then doing the same thing, adding in that whipped cream, and then doing the little caramel drizzle on the top portion. I suppose you could do this anything, like any kind that you wanted. You could do strawberry or, other flavors, but because these are the two go-tos in my family, that is what I opted to go with. Even my husband, like if he gets a flavored something, he tends to gravitate towards the caramel. So, these are pretty much done. I could go ahead and fold them over. I like to fold them lightly with my hand first and then go back in with a bone folder just to make sure that everything lines up. I think they're so cute, these little shaped cards. I think this would be a really fun way, like if you do, when Peanut was littler, we did like Polar Express, the little train ride on the Polar Express. Like that would be such a cute way to give them, like tickets to something like that. Or like when I worked outside of the house, we used to do like a little white elephant, where like, what do they call those? Why can't I think of it? Like where you don't know you're getting it, a Secret Santa. That's the Secret Santa. This would be like an extra special way if you got somebody a gift card to like give them their gift card. So because I do like all the little detail work, I did use my glossy accents to go right over top of those little drizzles as well as the drips. So I colored them to look like they were, shiny, and then I actually added the glossy accents to make sure that they were shiny. Another thing that you could do, like I said, you could cut the drizzled out of glitter paper, or you could add, like I use Stardust stickles, you could add glitter to them. You could also do the glossy accents and then do the like rock candy, or leave off the little drizzle and do the rock candy on the whipped cream so it looks like it's got sugar on top. Just some really like cute little things that you can do. Here are the donuts, which I think are adorable. These are the little mini donuts. And for the decorations of the ones up top, like that comes with it. That little icing bit comes with it. I did want to just show you, these are the tiny sprinkles that you could use these to, put onto your larger whipped cream on your mug. I was using them on my little donut, so I just put down some glossy accents. The first time I put down the glossy accents and then I kind of like sprinkled it on top. The second time I dipped it into the little clay pieces, and I actually found that was much easier and less messy. So those are just, two cute little ways that you can make your own little donuts. And here, just kind of giving you a visual of what I was thinking about, like putting the little donuts on the bottom and making them little accessories. But the reality of it is, because of the sentiments that I chose, you can't read the sentiment if I put the donuts on the card. That's the only reason why I left them off. But anywho, these are the two shaped cards. I hope that you will leave a comment for your chance to win and continue on the hop. Thank you guys so much for your time. I always appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.